Welcome back to Business Morning, live on Channels Television from the financial capital of West Africa, right here in Lagos. We've seen foreign investors taking flight from the Nigerian markets, name it, whether the equities, treasury bills or bond side of the market. And that's as a result of the risk of sentiment that has been playing out in emerging markets. It has also impacted a whole lot of the sovereign securities listed across the globe as it relates to Nigeria here. Bosin Omofaye will be engaging the Ayodeji Ebo of AfriInvest Securities on this matter. Bosin, let's hear from you and Ayo what we've really got and what Nigeria should be doing to weather the storm now.
Yes, thank you, Temple. Of course, very quickly, I can see the trading floor from here, and where we are right now in terms of today's trading there is that the oil-share index is slightly down from where we finished off yesterday. That's a little bit offside for now. We're doing less than 3.3 million, about 3.3 million in terms of total share transactions so far. It was still within the first 1 hour of the market opening. That's for about 70.7 million naira, and I can see the electronic board out there. The oil-share index reading 33,433.68. That's slightly lower than 33,449.17 where the market finished off yesterday. But it's still early in the day if you're getting into the market as we speak. 122 transactions yet. That tells you, of course, that tells you that we've seen this consistent decline in the equity space. But again, a lot of trading activities still going on. But the big picture, as you said, Temple, is about what are the global issues that are impacting on our market. Ayodeji Ebo, the CEO at AfriInvest Securities. Good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
Thank you, and can be here. Thank you very much. Hope you like the studios.
Yeah, very interesting and very up to date. Yeah.
We appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. Well, yes, yes, that's a nice one. Yeah, congratulations. So, what key global macroeconomic issues do you think we face? We also always talk about the political environment, the political risk. Yes, we know, we're in the season. Every 4 years, we go through it. But do you think there are strong issues from outside our shores that are impacting this market?
Yes, even starting from what we've seen from the U.S., the Fed has, for this year alone, has increased the rate twice, and there's still also the expectation that it will also be increased twice before the end of the year. So when you see higher yield in developed markets, that would also, for most investors, will move their investment to some of those developed markets that have more stable policy, and as well as in terms of stability, in terms and consistency in terms of policy. And when you also look at within the emerging markets, you see what's going on in Turkey. You see the Turkish lira has, I think, has depreciated about 44% year to date against the dollar. And you've seen the inflation rate has spiked to about 17.9%. And you also look at, you come to Argentina, you see what's really going on. Their currency have also been has depreciated significantly. Their CBN, that's their central bank, had to even raise the benchmark rate to as high as 60%, which is very massive. So it's like a contagion effect. So when you see the way it's structured, there are a lot of exchange-traded funds that trades most of these indices. So especially when you look at Nigeria belongs to the frontier market, right? But you look at the emerging markets. So for most times when they are trying to reduce the exposure to this market, Nigeria stocks classified under the frontier market will also be impacted. So they can't even isolate. So beyond the fundamentals of some of those companies. So once there's an instruction either from their risk person to, reduce by 0.1, 0.5% to this particular region, it affects Nigeria. And just to wrap that up, yes, you see that most of the stocks that have been declining are stocks that have very strong fundamentals, which are the most patronized by foreign investors.
Okay, so when we say investment flows, and investors are looking, or the question is, what are they looking for when they say, look, I'm sitting in London, I'm sitting in Dubai, whatever, Singapore, Malaysia, I want to invest in the US, I want to invest in the Nigerian market. What does investors look for in terms of their risks, in terms of return they're looking for? Why do they consider what market, Nigeria inclusive, as a frontier market?
Yeah, I think what they look for, liquidity. They also look for in terms of the depth of the market. But beyond that, on a macro level, they try to see in terms of consistency, policy consistency. They try to see in terms of how to repatriate in and out of their funds. You would recall that it's after the setup of the investors and exporters window that we received significant interest in Nigeria. So those are some of those factors that they would consider at their end. But the political space, it's also not helping the situation, because perception is also very key in some of the issues development that we've seen recently, in the likes of the MTN saga that's still ongoing. And when you look at it, the capital, the CCI is the major
part of the conversation.
The major part of what they use in terms of inflowing their fund, or when they want to repatriate their funds, to be precise. So when this is being questioned, so I'm not either speaking for MTN or speaking for the government, but in terms of the way I think this is being handled, in terms of perception for foreign direct investment, that would tell a lot. We know we've been seeing a lot of foreign portfolio investments, and most of them have been reducing their exposure as we move towards election. But with this current development in the last 2 weeks, some of them have begun to look at what are their current position. I hope I won't be the next. They're trying to force out any further inflow and to reassess their current position to be sure that they are not caught with it.